Hey y'all! So I have a topic I want to discuss and I'm just going to get right into it. So sometimes I find that people have a preconceived notion about what kind of life a person who is disabled or a person with chronic illness, what kind of life they lead. And it's so hard to generalize that idea for the entire chronic illness community because chronic illness affects everyone so differently. Two warriors with the same diagnosis may have totally different symptoms, and also chronic illness is not stagnant. It changes. There are periods of relief, there are flare-ups, there are good days and there are bad days, and these preconceived notions sometimes don't take all that into consideration. And from that, I've actually had fellow chronic illness warriors confide to me that at times they feel awkward or even ashamed about taking advantage of their good days. Just because I have an illness does not mean I can't live a happy and full life. And part of that entails doing things I enjoy when I'm able to. You know, I'm trying to get my degree. I go to Disney. I have date nights with my husband. We go out to movies, and none of that degrades or invalidates my battles with my health. The thing is, people often only see and focus on our good times. And of course, that's natural. The good times are the happy times when we're smiling and laughing and enjoying ourselves. But it can make it hard to comprehend that there is a polar opposite to that in our life as well. There are days we're in so much pain we can't leave the house, days filled with back-to-back doctor appointments and treatments. But that is life with chronic illness. It's a balance. It's about managing the bad days as they come and taking advantage of the good days, because that's part of how I take care of myself emotionally, doing the things I love to do when I feel well enough to do them. The other thing is, even when I'm having a good day and I'm having a great time, chronic illness doesn't just go away. And I think that can be hard for others to understand as well. You know, how can someone who's quite obviously enjoying themselves still be struggling? Especially when it comes to invisible symptoms like pain, fatigue, nausea, you know, invisible symptoms that derive from invisible disabilities. But the battle is still there. On any given day, any given moment, I will always have some level of symptoms to push through. And what I can handle, it varies. You know, what my body has to battle and my body has to go through changes day to day, even hour to hour sometimes. You know, I don't know how I'm gonna feel when I wake up in the morning. I don't know when a flare-up is going to happen. I don't know these things. And it's not inconsistency. I don't like that word. You know, you're inconsistent in what you can and can't do. You're going to the movies today, but a few days ago you canceled our dinner plans. It's not inconsistency. It is unpredictability, because chronic illness is unpredictable. And that is something we cannot control. We cannot control our health and our bodies, and that can be very frustrating. But what we can control is how we approach the difficult days and how we approach the good days. For me personally, that means taking advantage of those good days and knowing I'm allowed to enjoy myself. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You know, sometimes I go to Disney, sometimes I'm stuck in bed with pain. Sometimes I can keep my plans, sometimes I can't, sometimes we have to modify them, and all of that is okay because it's not our fault that chronic illness is unpredictable in many ways. And it's that unpredictability that causes such a variation in how we may feel from day to day and even moment to moment. You know, I know how bad things can get for me personally. Weeks upon weeks in the hospital, feeling discouraged and frustrated with my body. And that's why I'm proud, and I think it's so important to fully see the good moments through and not waste them. Now, of course, pushing myself, doing things that I enjoy, that most often comes with repercussions. That's one of the only inevitable things about chronic illness. Having a good day, taking advantage of it, can lead to unfavorable repercussions in the near future. But I think just because that's a possibility doesn't mean we should avoid doing the things we love. That's not personally how I want to live. Just because I am sick doesn't mean I can't lead a full life. it doesn't mean I can't enjoy myself and have a good time and do the things that bring me joy. Yes, it may be a little trickier for me because of the battles constantly going on in my body. Yes, there may be consequences, but it's about finding a balance. And of course, we know our limits and we make smart choices because no one knows yourself better than you do. You know your own body, you know what you can handle, and you do you. Don't worry about what other people think. But yes, of course, it is okay for us to go out and enjoy ourselves and take advantage of the good days. There's nothing wrong with that. And this is just a topic I wanted to discuss. I have talked about this with many chronic illness warriors. It seems like a very common concern. And this is part of why I share my story in the hope to break these stigmas and educate and spread awareness. So that's what I had to say. Thank you for listening. And with that, I'll say goodbye. And thanks for joining us on our adventure.